Hello, good day everyone. This is Richard again for another edition of Learning with Rich. So for today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to work with dimensions in Revit 2016. So it can be Revit Architecture, Revit Structure, or Revit MEP. Right, so let's get started. Okay, in this exercise, I'm going to place dimension and then I'm going to modify the position of walls in our building. And then after that, I'm going to place also dimension strings around this exterior of the building. Okay, so let's start by going to the Annotate tab. Okay, and then you can see these are the tools that you can use to place dimensions on your model. But aside from that, okay, you can also select the elements where you want to place the dimension. Like for example, this wall. So I'm going to select this wall. Okay, and then you see there's there's a temporary dimension. So let's say I'm going to select this wall. So as you can see, there's a temporary dimension. So what I'm going to do is to make this dimension permanent. So you see this icon here, it says make this temporary dimension permanent. So I'm going to select this icon here. So I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to click outside. So you will see that it becomes permanent dimension. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to select the dimension that I just created, and then I'm going to drag it. So I'm going to drag this. Let's say for example I'm going to move it here. Okay, the exact position is not critical, so I'm just showing you that you can drag the dimension. Okay, and then you can also shift the position of the left here, of this left witness line. Okay, so I'm going to click this circle here, move witness line. So if you click this, you'll be able to shift the position of your witness line or the justification. Okay, so have you noticed? So notice that the left witness line shift to the inner face of the left wall, outer face. Okay, let's say for example I want it on the outer space. So I just click again the move witness line dot. Okay, and then after that I'm going to click also the witness line of the right side, this one. So I'm going to click this twice to shift it to the left face of its reference wall. So I'm going to click this one, oh, one, two. There you go. Okay, and then after that, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to select the interior wall again, and then after that you will notice there's again your temporary dimension and of course your permanent dimension here. So to edit the temporary dimension, I'm going to click the left dimension number here, which is this one. I'm going to make this 2400. So I click this, so I type 2400. Then after that I press enter. There you go. So that's how you edit the dimension, by simply selecting the elements, the wall in this exercise, and then after that the temporary dimension will appear. So that's the time you can modify the dimension by selecting the temporary dimension there. Okay, so after that I'm going to click the right dimension. Okay, I'm going to click the right dimension here, and then let's say I want this to be 3000. So I type 3000 and then I press enter. See, change back again. Okay, and then after that I'm going to modify the position of the central interior wall. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to select the center wall of the three interior walls, which is this one. I'm going to select this. I click. Okay, and then I'm going to change the right temporary dimension. So I'm going to change that to 2400. Okay, so this one, I click, say 2400. then enter. There you go. So the selected wall moves to the right. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is from my architecture tab, I'm going to select first the modify to deselect the wall. Okay, so from the architecture, I'm going to select the wall tool. Okay. So I'm going to use this type, the generic 200 mm. And then after that, I'm going to move the cursor over the lower left corner of the building, which is somewhere here. So I'm gonna click here. And then after that, you will see that there is this dimension that appears, right? So we call this dimension as listening dimension. Okay, so listening dimensions, you notice, are displayed along the cursor. So these dimensions are in bold and you can edit them directly. So let's say, for example, I'm going to enter here 3,600 and then I press enter. There you go. Okay, and then I'm going to move the cursor upward to draw a wall and connect it with this one, with the center horizontal wall. Okay, so I'm going to place it here. There you go. And then after that, this time, I'm going to select the Annotate tab. Okay, and then I'm going to select the Dimension tool. Okay, so the Dimension tool. So let's say I use here the Aligned Dimension. So I click this. Okay, and then I'm going to change here the setting. So let's say I select wall faces so that my pointer will snap at the faces of the wall. So I select this. So I'm going to click the exterior face of the wall, which is this one. And then I'm going to click also the interior face of this wall. Okay. So to continue specify the dimensions of the wall and then the rooms, okay, so I'm going to click the faces here of the wall. Okay, so I click this. Okay, so I click this. There you go. I click. Right, so I click this one and then I click this. So after reaching the exterior face of the rightmost wall, so I'm going to move my cursor to the blank area and then I'm just going to click to finish placing the dimension. Okay, so let's say for example, I'm just going to move it here below and then I'm just going to click outside to finish it. There you go. So after that, I'm going to select here. I'm not going to terminate. I'm going to show you some options here on our options bar. So aside from this portion here wherein you can change the justification of your pointer on how you snaps to your wall. So this time, I'm going to select here. You see this drop down arrow. So it is set by default to individual reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the drop down arrow here. And then I'm going to select entire walls. And then you will notice the options here will becomes available. So I'm going to select the options to open the auto dimensions or auto dimension options. And then after that, okay, so I'm going to select opening. Okay, so I'm going to select opening and then I'm going to select here width. So what will happen is as I select an entire wall, it will snap to the opening using the width of that opening. Okay, so I'm going to select here OK and then check this out. So in the view window, so I'm going to select this wall here to place the dimensions for the opening in the wall. So I click this and then you see it snaps, right? It snaps to the opening. Okay, and then I'm going to place it here again to finish the dimension. There you go. All right. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to select modify to terminate the dimension tool. Okay, and then I'm going to select the dimension. Okay, and then I can go to the edit type here from the properties in case you want to create your own dimension style. Okay, so you can select your edit. You can select any type. Okay, let's say for example, I'm gonna use this as my reference to create my dimension style. So I select this and then I click edit type. Okay, so in my type properties here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the parameter. Let's say for the graphic, for the witness line control. Okay, so I'm going to select here, instead of gap to element, I'm going to select fix to dimension line. Okay, so I'm going to select this, and then after that I select OK. There you go, and then you notice it updates, right? It updates. Okay, so I can open again the edit type here to open the type properties dialog box, and then you can also change here the format. Okay, so you can just explore this, the options here, but a word of advice. So instead of changing directly the properties here or the value, okay, why not just duplicate first your type and then just create a new dimension style. So instead of overriding this, so let's say for example, oh, I want to create 3.5 mm aerial. Okay, so I'm going, after I select duplicate, so I'm going to change this to 3.5 aerial. Okay, so you see there's you just created a new type of dimension. So after that, I'm going to select the text size 3.5. Then you can also specify the color. Okay, you can just explore this yourself. Okay, so you can specify here the unit formats. Okay, alternate units. So the text size, if you want it to be underlined, italic, bold, you can also modify these parameters here. So after changing settings, so I select here OK. And then after that, I'm going to try this. Okay, so let's say I use entire walls. So this time I'm going to click this. And there you go. So this is my new dimension style. So after that, I'm just going to click outside to finish my dimension. And then I just select here, modify, to deselect it. Okay. So that's how you use your dimension. Okay. That's it. Alright, so that's the exercise. So if you learned something from this video, just give me a like. Okay. Just hit the like button and you can also subscribe to my channel. So until then, thank you and bye-bye.